Ladies and gentlemen, that is the magic of a personal brand. Like I always say, check the fruit on the tree, which means check the result of the person before taking his or her advice. Just in the last 1 year, I've gotten the following results as a fallout of building a personal brand for myself. Remote job. Currently, I'm based in Pune, India, and working remotely at a bank in Europe. Global ambassador at CDF, or the Continuous Delivery Foundation. The ambassadorship gives me access to some of the best minds in continuous delivery out there. Content creation for various organizations. I got approached by 3 organizations to write white papers or content for them. Invited to speak at a local engineering college. They checked out profiles of 6 people who were doing well in the DevOps area, and they decided to reach out to me because I seemed approachable when they looked at my YouTube videos. It was great to interact with the kids and understand their perspective and their challenges, and their cafeteria had the best samosas that I've had in a long time. Advisory at 2 startups in the DevOps space. One startup wanted feedback on the continuous delivery tool that they are building. The another one had similar needs, but when I went to their office for discussions, it turned out into a deeper conversation of how they marketed themselves after their recent pivot. The startup, though, paid with chicken wings and beer, which is always a good combination. Energy exchange is important in any transaction. I'll add one extra achievement to this, which to me is one of the most important ones. Respect in the DevOps community. In the past 3 or 4 days itself, I've had 3 people reach out to me for certain advice they are looking at in terms of their career. They are all DevOps engineers in the range of 2 to 6, 7 years of experience. Actually, one of them is a senior guy, about 15 odd years of experience. This happened because they looked at some of my YouTube videos. 2 of them were in a conference that I was presenting in. They found me relatable. They approached me on LinkedIn, and we'll have a conversation with all of them in the next couple of days. With all the content that I'm putting out, if I can positively impact just even a couple of people and they can pivot their careers basis of the discussion, that will make all of this well worth it. So to summarize, today in 2023, having a personal brand is not just for the sports people out there, for the movie stars. It's not just for them. It's equally important, if not more, for us in the software industry. Why? Because we can't hire a PR agency to take care of all that thing for us. We don't have paparazzi coming at us when we get down from the airports or when we go to the office. We, boys and girls, have to work on building our own brand with our own efforts to achieve what we want to achieve. Like I said in the past, the goal of all of this brand building is not to get the next job, assignment, or role. The goal is for the next assignment, role, job to get you. One caveat here, building a personal brand is by no means an easy activity. It is not something you do on a couple of weekends and then 4 to 6 weeks later you have a shiny brand. It's not something that you can throw a ton of money at and buy. It takes time, effort, and energy for a sustained period of time, and then you can see the makings of a personal brand. If you're not ready for it, do not venture for it. But then think, do you really have a choice? Especially if you are in the 10 plus, 15 plus, 20 plus year experience bracket. Do you really even have a choice? As always, let's start with understanding the perspective. What exactly does a personal brand mean for a software engineer? I have a very simple definition. A personal brand for a software engineer is what I can find out about you in 20 seconds. That's through your LinkedIn page and a Google search on you. And if you're in the development category, through looking at your GitHub profile. A resume is the last place to look for personal branding. There's a new jungle saying, the resume is long dead. So let's do a quick experiment. Come on, do it with me now. Open up a new browser in incognito mode and type your name in and see what you get. This is what your current personal brand image looks like. Let me show you mine in the next 10 seconds. Let's see how that looks like. Then let's also jump to my LinkedIn and let's see how that looks like. The thought process of building a personal brand image. That's a great question, How do you think about it? And what is the prerequisite for building a brand image? There's only one. To put yourself and your knowledge out there. And the idea of putting yourself out there is that people see your work and your personality. Because there are enough and more people to be able to demonstrate their work in any area that you choose. There are enough Kubernetes experts out there. There are enough people who can write infrastructure as code. There are enough brilliant blockchain developers or people who can create Node.js beautiful things. What makes you unique is that knowledge and your own personality. That combination is unique to you. And fortunately, in 2023, we have a lot of ways to combine your knowledge and your unique personality and to be able to demonstrate that. We'll talk about that a little later in the video once we get into that section. As Ali Abdal, who's one of my favorite YouTubers, says, you have to leverage your unfair advantage and increase your surface area of luck. Let's unpack this statement. What the heck does it mean? So, unfair advantages, everybody has some. How do you find your unfair advantage? 3 questions. What is it the stuff that feels like play to you but looks like work to others? Perhaps you have been toying around with Kubernetes and you've made a simple application which is a game which is very cool. Perhaps you have used Raspberry Pi to control the watering system in your garden. Or you love to teach about maths to kids. Or you love to sketch and you have an old sketchbook lying somewhere with some beautiful sketches. That's your unfair advantage. Those are things that you love to enjoy which seem like work to others. What industry or skill are you a part of that has a high cost of entry? Perhaps you're a performance tester. Perhaps you're a system administrator or an SRE, that you manage a production or a non-production environment for a large retailer. That's not a thing which a lot of people do. Maybe you're an agile coach. Maybe you're a project manager with a specific large customer and you've been there for 5 years. You know their systems very well. And the connected question to that is, what superpowers do you have that will help you stand out from the crowd that could be in that space as well? For example, are you camera confident? Can you write well? Can you invest money? Can you hustle really smartly? Are you good talking to people? What's your superpower? So that's how you identify your unfair advantage. Stuff that feels like play to you but is work to others. Industry or skill with a high cost of entry, and your superpower. Now let's talk about how to increase your surface area of luck. Let's say you've identified your own unfair advantage, but you keep it to you. That's a very closed group of people that can know that. It's only you. Now, let's say you start discussing your unfair advantage with a couple of friends. That's maybe 2, 3, 5, 10 people who get exposed to it. Now, let's say you write an article around it and publish it in your organization. That's maybe 100, 200 people who are reading that. Let's say you publish that on LinkedIn. Now, let's say maybe you have 500 friends on LinkedIn. Now, let's say you create an official blog on a website and you start posting content there. And then you post it on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and you engage in meaningful conversations with people. It's a whole lot more people. Now, because so many people are seeing this content out week after week, month after month, year after year, chances are you will bloody get lucky. That's how you increase your surface area of luck. It's no magic. It's effort, time, energy given over a sustained period of time. So let's talk about how do you build a personal brand. So let's talk about how do you put all of these things together. You figured out your unfair advantage, learned about increasing your surface area of luck. Now the third thing you need to do is find your creative medium. And that depends on your personality. If you're not a camera shy person, YouTube's the way to go. Not shorts, not reels. We are not dancing and, singing kumbaya here. We are making serious shit. If you are camera shy, then you got to write. If you can't write, you got to draw. If you can't draw, you got to paint. I know somebody who's very senior in the industry, who's brilliant at creating drawings and logical explanation of things. That's another way of creative expression. Whatever way you can figure out to express your knowledge combined with your personality, you gotta do that. Now the question is, what the heck do I even write about? That's easy. Start with the stuff that you know. Are you from the infrastructure space? Do you understand VMware? Do you understand hyperscalers? Do you know about cloud? Then start writing about stuff that you are studying currently. Maybe you're learning Kubernetes. Maybe you're learning Ansible. So say, hey, study Ansible with me. Start a series and post something every week. And say, this is a 4-week journey with me to study Ansible. Week 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what I plan to do. This is what I did every week. What will happen is, number one, you'll do the damn thing because you have to make a series, a video or a blog about it. Number two, you'll share your experience. I went to this guy's video, this was great. I saw this guy's, not so good. You can help people along the way as well. Some good sites to produce blogs, Hashnode. That's one of the good ones. A lot of people are putting their stuff out there. You can create communities. They have a lot of competitions going on there to encourage you to put more content. So Hashnode is a good one. Medium is a very, very popular one. So a lot of good content goes up on Medium as well. In your organization, I'm sure there are opportunities to write blogs, articles and get them published either on some microsite or on your website. The marketing team is always looking for people who can dish out more content. Reach out to them and you'll be surprised on how receptive they'll be. Look out for CFPs, call for papers. Do a Google search on CFPs in May, June 2023. Typically, good conferences launch CFPs 3 to 6 months before the conference. Start with smaller scale conferences. They will accept, not so well-known creators as well. So start there and build your way gradually up. What's the key in all of this? Start today. Don't overthink it. Don't overplan it. Don't over-prepare on it. Don't get into something that's called the spotlight effect. It's where you think there is a freaking spotlight on you and everybody's watching you. And that's why you have to be perfect in whatever you do. I'll tell you the fact of the matter. Nobody even cares about the first 5, 10, 20 pieces of content that you put out there. And they will anyways be crap. Because you're starting out, you're learning. So get over that mentality and get over the first 10 pieces of content as soon as possible. I can tell you one thing from my personal experience. The thrill of publishing something out there is awesome. You don't care whether somebody watched it or not. That comes 10 minutes later. But for the first 10 minutes, you're just exhilarated that hey, I created something and I put it out there, which will be there for eternity. 3 ways in which spirituality can help you in building a personal brand. Now you're thinking, what the heck has spirituality to do with personal brand? Everything, my friends. You can follow now any spirituality practice. It doesn't really matter. It could be mindfulness, it could be meditation, yoga, breath work, or anything else. What matters is that you follow something. Number 1, self-reflection and self-awareness. Spirituality encourages introspection and self-reflection kind of things, which allows you to go deeper within yourself and get a much better understanding of who you are. This will help to find your unfair advantage. The second one, authenticity and a genuine connection. Spirituality emphasizes being true to yourself and embracing authenticity. When building a personal brand, being genuine and authentic is super critical to establish a trust with the people who are watching you. You know, my grandmother used to say, if you always speak the truth, you will not have to remember what you told to whom. And the last one, purpose and meaning. Spirituality provides you a sense of purpose and meaning in your life. When building a personal brand, it is very, very important to have a clear vision of what you're trying to do and why you're trying to do. So spirituality will enable you to align your actions and your messaging with your higher purpose, making your brand super impactful and inspiring. Great, so let's wrap it all up and talk about what you can start doing immediately. 4 things. Find your unfair advantage, figure out your creative medium, start publishing, and keep publishing to increase your surface area of luck. Bonus tip, get spiritual if you're not already today. Hope you liked this video. It made sense. Let me know in the comments which part resonated most to you. And even better, once you watch this video and if you uploaded your first piece of content, let me know in the comments and maybe we can get on a quick call to help you or to read the content together. It'll be a fun activity to do. All right, see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.